got shot in the arm?
Yeah, it was with an airsoft, but not a rib.
Oh, whew. Gotcha. Okay, well then write about that. Describe what happened to the main character and then how that relates to what happened to you. I think we found it. Roger? Yeah.
I see you forgot what you did. That's the only thing.
Well, that could be a question that hasn't been answered yet. This early in the book.
I'm trying to figure out if I like read past it, skipped it or something.
Yeah,
I just didn't.
you haven't found out what they did.
I don't think it just starts off like, ow, my bones hurting bad, like, yeah, I got shot. And just like, my arm hurt really bad.
Right,
Thinking, should I throw the gun? I see
Okay.
a patrol car down the street around the corner.
right.
I was too tired to keep running much more because we started running. And he's talking about his form and time. And finding a way to go, like a place to hide from the cops.
Okay,
Yeah, basically then he was talking about he's scared and how he found another place to hide and he ran to another place. And he talked about like how he what happened to his mom.
okay.
Shot and that's about all I remember that him going to that abandoned house. The only crime that I know about this book that they did was shoot the cop.
And he was responsible for that, or you don't know?
He was blamed for it.
He was blamed for
He
it.
was gonna shoot the cop, but he did. Jay shot the cop.
Okay, so what you're trying to figure out is,
What happened before that? Like, what was the purpose? Because it says like that they was just arm was hurting in pain. That's it should be more here, like telling what they was doing then,
right,
how he got shot.
so you've
So I'm trying to
noticed
figure
that,
out, was
yeah.
they robbing the bank and the cop shot him and they shot
Gotcha.
back, or
So you still have a lot of questions just on the backstory.
yeah, like
Mhm.
what made the cop shoot him and
Yeah.
the other dude shoot back? Like what were they doing?
Yeah,
The only crime that they got now is killing the cop.
well, what's really good about this is this shows that while sometimes I think you feel like you don't totally know you can't remember necessarily all the details and you feel like you need to go back and reread, what this is showing me is that you are asking questions while you're reading of what came before, and you're able to go back and trace what you do know to then know what you don't know, and that's a really good skill to have. So I think that's really great, and I think what you're realizing and what probably makes this book interesting is that they don't tell you all that right away. So I think you're going to get that in chapters 2 and 3, but you want to remember those questions that you have, so when you get to those chapters, you're like, oh, they answered my question for me, but I wasn't there yet. If they told you all the answers to those on the first page, it wouldn't be that interesting of a book, right? But it does make it a little bit harder to keep up with the information because you keep thinking, I have this question and that question. But what I'm telling you is that shows that you're doing a great job of keeping up with that. So based on what you know about him right now, you can think about how you compare and contrast, but there's still going to be a lot of things you don't know yet. And you can come back and do this in 5 or 6 chapters and say, oh, he's actually a lot more similar to me than I thought, or a lot more different than I thought. Yeah. Blamed. BLAMED.
And another question I want to ask is, who really shot the cop? Because right now, he telling the guy that he didn't really shoot him. That little Jay pulled the trigger. He got like scared. He choked or something.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he's lying to him.
Interesting. You know what I'm gonna do? There's a specific place where you had that question.
Nah, I was just.
You were just thinking back on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to write down what have you got so far? That guy. He was running from the cop and he was blamed for shooting the cop and was shot by one. Got it. Okay. So that's what you've got about him so far. What I want you to do is, now that you've got that, think about that question that you just had. I want you to write that question down on that sticky note there.
Because the young or old guy, he's like, he got magic, so he can like bring, like, switch it, like make it recap. I think that's gonna happen on 10 or 11.
Chapter 10? What makes you think that?
Because like, now Roger, he got stuck up about it, like, how you can't. It's like the dude kick fast, you know. Then, then at the same time, sometimes I really want to like just a dream or something.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm gonna write that down too. You finish writing that question, I'm gonna write down maybe it's.
Or like maybe this was what was gonna happen, and like say they was about to do it or something, and he had like, no, you ever did something bad, you thought it
You thought what was gonna happen.
happened, like if you like really went on through with this, like maybe it was just like he just sat there and thought of everything. Then maybe the little magic guy probably popped up and was telling him, like showing him something like not to do it, because you don't have a person like me to just
Have you read another story like that? Or seen a movie or anything?
just be thinking of
You're
stuff.
just kind of thinking of that in your mind.
Yeah, I always think of stuff like that.
That's awesome. So I think also, Patrick, that could be another reason why sometimes when you're reading, you get to like, page 11 and you're realizing, I don't even really remember what happened on 8 through 11 because you were probably thinking about all those possibilities.
I be thinking of other stuff.
Yeah, and it starts getting you thinking the what ifs, but that means
When I
you're,
get distracted.
yeah,
Or like when I get stuck on words, that's when I mainly give up.
okay.
When stuff like this happens, so I just
Yeah, but I think your mind is also like talking back to the book though and saying, what if this is a possibility or what if that is? It's not like you're totally just shutting off completely. I think the words part is something we can work on and we can come up with strategies for. But I think all of these questions and ideas show me that you are creating pictures of the book in your mind and imagining the possibilities. Most people wouldn't imagine that it was a vision or that it was a dream or that this was a possibility. That shows a lot of thinking. Most people would just accept that that's what's actually happening, and you've got to step further and say, but it might not be, and I think that's really cool. So I'm going to write these down, and you can place them throughout your book so they're little reminders of the questions and the thoughts that you've had.
What did you write?
I wrote down, maybe it's all a dream. What if this isn't real? And then I wrote down, maybe this is his vision of what would have happened.
Okay.
And then you had another question earlier. Did you really shoot the cop? You had another question at the very beginning. You were walking me through it, and you said,
Yeah, what happened at the beginning?
Oh yeah, write that one there. Like
What
what?
happened before?
Mhm.
What made the cop shooting him.
Yeah, there you go. Sweet. So I'm going to leave this one here because that was a question you had at the beginning. When did you wonder that?
It just popped up in my head, but I wondered it around.
Oh, right.
This one didn't bring it up because he asked did he really shoot him.
Gotcha.
And I think on the next page that's when he was like, no, Jay shot him.
I didn't do the shooting. I said.
But he was like, it's not gonna make a difference if I turn myself in now because either they're gonna get me for shooting. He's saying either way he's not gonna get out of here. For shooting or doing whatever the crime was before.
And
or
that, yeah.
the gun.
Okay. And what is this question?
This is, did he really shoot the cop? Or I guess we can put it around.
Yeah, I think that kind of works. We can put it around there. Is this one blank?
Yeah, that was, we put that in a whole my spot.
Oh.
I remember to go back.
Did that work?
Yeah, because I remember when to go back to like reread.
Okay.
Down there.
Okay, good. So you want to keep that one in there?
I can get a bookmark for Miss Gibson's tomorrow because she has a fun.
Got it. Cool. Okay. When did you? I think you made it sound like you were starting to think this around the magic guy.
What is that?
This one is, or was it this one? These are kind of similar. First you said, was it a dream? And then maybe this was like him predicting what would have happened, like a vision
This
sort
one
of.
I thought of this one, the pretend one. Yeah, that's when I thought like the magic guy was like
Yes.
pretending like maybe it's just you know how they say you get the little devil angel.
Yes.
I was wondering like.
Ooh, I like that. Let me put that down.
Like he pretending maybe the magic guy picked up, came to his head like
Yes.
God or something.
Like a little genie sort of.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not gonna be here to help you. Like,
Yeah.
This is gonna be real life, so
So I'm gonna put magic guy.
there's gonna be nobody with a remote to switch it back. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Do you remember where that was? I'm really curious about this magic guy. This doesn't seem like a book that would have like a
Yeah, I
magic
didn't think it
in
either.
it. So that
That's
is.
what made me think it was what's the name by the cover too, like
You
it's
just
magic.
no magic.